not too bad. Right, sorry badly drawn boy, we're going over to a nicely made game. But yeah, tattoo, all my tattoos are out. And my weedy little arms. But hey, at least the ladies can see that I'm bingoing free at the moment. Oh wait, no, don't ladies like bingo? Oh shit. I lurched him. Fuck. Hey, Anthony ahoy! How are you doing again today, buddy? Ahoy hoy. Lovely to you, dude. How is your Monday going? And what was I up to? So... Oh yeah, I'll just do some missions and shit, won't I? Because... you still need to do a bunch of those. Actually no, this one is going to be way closer. We will just go to the one over here. Fool's End, okay. Only old ladies. Beggars can't be choosers, I'm afraid, buddy. No signal? Oh. So my friend is great. Yeah, man. Oh, you gotta keep smiling. Oh wait, they were on my side, I think. I didn't know they had like cars with guns on them now as well. But yeah, Anthony, you gotta keep at least a little bit happy, you know. Why did my car stop? So busy, haven't been able to play. Oh, do not worry about that, dude. Oh, get on the road, get on the road, get on the road. I stream a lot, so you just come in whenever you want. You don't ever have to feel like you have to be here or anything like that, though. I'm purely here for your enjoyment, you know? God damn it, dude. Why does he keep doing this to me? Whoa. No, keep going. Why does this car keep stopping? There's a stupid car, not sentient. How many civilians are we trying to kill today? Under 10. Yeah, 10. Around 10. 10 civilians, but I'm hoping I don't get any forced murder of animals today. That's what my main hope is for today. I don't want to have to murder more animals as part of a mission. It's a wee bit savage. But if we have to, I mean I will, but I'd rather just not, you know. Found out emulators exist. You only just found out emulators exist, Ned? Oh shit, yeah, you are gonna have yourself some fun for the foreseeable future then, buddy. God damn, I love ROMs. I've been using like ROMs and emulators. What are you doing, you son of a bitch? You came on the wrong side of the road. You shouldn't come on the road at all. You're not John Lennon. Yeah, I murdered him in the end. All's well that ends well. But yeah, Ned, I've got a Mega Drive ROM on my computer at the moment and emulated up, I've got a Mega Drive emulator and then I've got like ROMs for every single Mega Drive game. I've been meaning to get PS1 ones as well, but they're making huge leaps with both PS3 and Xbox 360 emulators now. So there's a lot of those games that are, some of them actually playable now as well. I can't wait till 360 and PS3 emulators are proper, you know, so I can actually fucking play Red Dead on PC. Gotta keep a little happy. Yeah, exactly. I know what makes me happy. That's why I'm so happy, Anthony. I know what makes me happy. It's shit like this. Oh, fuck you. See, I'm happy. I'm happy. I whipped up the Wii and was looking at burning discs for games because I'm cheap. Then found out that yes, Dolphin is fucking amazing for the Wii, man. Also, I know a lot of games are working on the Switch emulator. There's a Switch emulator called CEMU. So CEMU. I've not personally tried it. I've heard very good things. And I know like people have got Breath of the Wild running like flawlessly on that basically, so pretty damn good. See? I'm happy. Oh. No, I didn't make an explosion. That's one innocent civilian dead, apparently. I didn't mean to kill that innocent civilian, I didn't even see him. Well, one civilian down so far. 9 more to go. This song's a bit beautiful, though. Yeah, it's got a bit more jam. Let's go for it. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Auto. Finger off. Right, for whom the bell tolls, time marches on. Wait. Yeah, it is this way. I couldn't see the new diagonal thing. Should we go get more weapons? You never know when someone might try and murder you. Can I not get anything? Fuck Joseph. Has everyone, like, left town? Is it a ghost town? Is this going to be like a final showdown with the man? Oh yes, the testicle festival. That was one of the first instances I had to brutally murder animals. And then take their testicles. You haven't got a Switch, but I was talking to Hill about getting one. Yeah, my brother's got one and he's in love with it, man. I know Enzo's highly thinking of getting one as well. But if not, try the Switch emulator, man. Apparently, a lot of games like Breath of the Wild works amazingly on it. I've been meaning to try it myself, but I'm just a bit lazy. Shame this town doesn't have Tinder? Yeah. No matches anyway. Have to try and meet people by putting letters onto signs. Well, man, I fucking use Tinder. I'm not exactly meeting many people either. Maybe it's because I'm not showing enough guns. Maybe I need to show more guns. Oh god, why are you wearing a tank top? It's a basketball jersey, actually, Levita. But because it's fucking boiling, and if I was wearing a t-shirt, I would die. It was literally like, they're not allowing me to stream with my tits out, so this is as best as we can get, you know. More guns and more fish. Oh, I don't have any fish pictures. I do have a picture of my tattoo, actually. Have a nice picture of me looking away from the camera, smiling in the woods. So that's a pretty good opening picture, you know. And I thought we were going to have a nice talk, and then this dude just comes straight up and bats me in the face. He brings back up. I didn't even bring my dog. I didn't even bring my dog.
Hold still. It's supposed to say wrath, not rat.
Oh, he's making a tattoo of me. Nice. Carry on.
Sin.
Do you need the games with the emulator? Because for PS2 one, you needed this to do something with it. Can't remember. No. In fact, Ned, you don't need... Although I think to, like, not face the copyright issues, I think if you own the game, it's fine. But you don't ever need any discs or anything for any emulators. You can get PS2 and PS1 emulators now, where you just you download the ROMs. You shouldn't have to need CDs for anything. Every single console up to PS2 at least, and I think maybe with Xbox One, you should be able to basically download an emulator for it, and you should be able to download the ROMs for it, and not need any other like extra discs put in or anything like that at all.
Muhammad won't come to the mountain.
And more talking about how you met Mick Jones. Hey, I haven't talked about that in a while, so.
Let's begin.
I suppose no one's brought up the Clash yet for a little while. Bastards. I want to talk about it. It's hot. Over in the UK, I've been hearing. Oh man, it's actually insane. Like I don't think we've heard. I can't even remember ever having a summer this hot and long. We usually have like maybe a week heat wave in the summer at the most, and then it usually gets pretty tame. And then it's, if anything, you're outside. You know, oh, I should have brought a jacket. It's a little bit chilly, but it's actually been excruciatingly hot. Like hardly any wind or anything as well. Really humid. You put you in the wrong stream. Yeah, it's a bodybuilding stream, baby. Check it out tonight. Yeah, Ned, yo man, you are gonna have so much fun. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, the old PS1s and that ones and that.
Let's try that again.
Like, fine and that. I know the Mega Drive one I've been using is beautiful.
We're devoted. We are gathered here to bear witness.
I know, Levisa, yeah, I don't usually like showing my arms, if I'm being honest. I don't like what I'm wearing. I was very tempted to not stream today, and then I was like, don't be an idiot. It's only your fucking shoulders. Just so, yeah. America and I have two really good streamer friends who said it has been brutal lately. It really has, man. I know I've been moaning about it a lot, but I don't usually moan that much about the summer. I'm usually alright with it. I'm naturally quite hot a lot of the time anyway, so it's not too bad, but it's just been crazy. And the reason I wanted it is for Crash, Spyro and Spartan to Ore. Oh yeah, man. Maybe some old Dynasty Warriors as well. But now I know the game's free, I'm gonna use it. Yeah, boy. Hey, what are you telling him? What's he saying? Did he just let him into the cult? Nick? I swear to God, if he's allowed in the cult and I'm not. Toilet heat is mud. Yeah, to be fair, Louise, like Sweden and stuff is a hell of a lot worse than England. They're having crazy wildfires and shit. Global hottening, yeah. Yeah, man. They've been warning us about it for ages. Too many people not using electric kettles and using the hob.
It's the power of yes.
They just rip that skin off of him.
Take away your sins.
Oh. Global weirding. Yeah, it is. You're bro, can't be so wonderful, dude. You're great, dude. Yeah, thank you very much. Oh, that's it. When it gets to this sort of temperature anyway, it kind of goes out the window, don't it? It's just like, I don't care. Anything to just feel stable. Okay, I'm not going to let you cut a bit of my skin off my chest like these fucks have let you. It seems really dumb.
Deputy, place your hand upon the word of Joseph.
They're going to get... It's going to get infections.
Deputy, place your hand
We've
upon the
had
word of
over 30
Joseph.
degrees and around 74 forest fires. Yeah, it's crazy. Britain rarely goes over 30, and it's like 32, 31, I think, still going here. And it's now like evening. I'm never going to say it.
Yes.
Nuh-uh. Wait, what am I saying yes to? I always miss the questions. What if I don't? What if I don't? Ball's in your court now, Mr. Far Cry. I don't know who he is, I don't give a shit. Been pretty hot over here too, but I'm in... Oh, okay, you're in AC, I have a basement flat, so I'm okay, wear long sleeves, which are nice. I did Scarecrow. So I've been deemed impossible to put out? Damn. Okay, I'll say yes. It seems that's what the story wants. No, I'll wait for the third time. I'll see if they shoot this dude or not. Oh! It did go differently.
Get John Juice ready. Move.
Hey! I didn't give in to my, I didn't give up my, my beliefs, you know. Oh shit, you're not dead. What the hell's that dude doing? Where'd he come from? You a good guy? Oh, no. Where are they? Oh, there's a jabroni. That's one dead jabroni. Where we going?
Freeze the body.
I'll take care of Nick. Go with Mary and finish this.
Let's do this. Let's finish this. Latimer!
Get on the big guy.
I am. Hurry up and get in the car. I know. Hurry. Come on! Jeez, we're meant to be in a goddamn high-speed energy level, you know? Oh wait, that's a good guy. Dum-dum. Oh wait, are they a good guy? I don't know. I just don't know anymore. Nope.
Behind us! Light him up! Try shooting the tires out!
They don't have tires on the planes!
Right side! Shoot at those trucks! They're coming in! Yeah, line! I can't take them!
That's alright. Where's the plane? Oh shit. Just don't crash onto us, don't crash onto us, don't crash onto us, don't crash onto us. Don't crash onto us! Ooh, another goddamn plane! Alright, don't crash onto us, don't crash onto us, don't crash onto us! Ah.
Behind us!
Jesus, man. Did they just like telecom and be like, get all of the planes? All of the planes. Alright, he's done for.
Take out those planes!
I have. Oh shit. I want to explode that thing over there. I don't think we've got it. Is there another plane? I I don't think so. No, we good. We good. Such a moose for like a giant pina colada. Oh, you're in a mood for giant pina coladas. I really do not get that. Is that some sort of American colloquialism? I'm in the moose. Just to take the piss out of your neighbours up north.
Shit, that's John plane. He's getting away.
Nah, we'll get him. Do you know where a safe place is to get ROM files for games? I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember where I got mine. Like, I want to say just Google it and you'll probably fine. You'll probably be fine. But I don't want to give you any misinterpretation. But usually there's like I know I got mine all in like one big ROM. Oh, I've got to fly now? Hi. Right. Oh, who now?
Don't get in the way. Take to the skies, deputy.
I'm trying. Oh, I forgot to switch seats. Switch seats. How am I going to destroy his plane if I'm not able to shoot? How the fuck do I fly? Hey, and Emily, thank you very much for the host there, buddy. Damn. 6 people and you've just been chilling here for a while. Nice. Oh, that's accelerate. Oh, okay. This is gonna go bad. For John. I'm on mobile at work. You have terrible autocorrect. That's fine. Oh, Jesus. Jesus, man, this is a kind of a ball ache to fly. Okay. Okay, they're just gonna try and crash into us. I mean, I can deal with that. Can they? I still can. I still can. Man, flying planes is hard. Me. So come back into my line of sight. This dude, like, they have so many planes that fly around with guns and stuff. But, like, is he even trying to shoot me in this one? I don't think so. I don't know if he just took a non-plane gun. What idiot does that? Oh, he's nearly done for. Come on. Let's get him. Emu Paradise lets you download. Oh, that might be. a good one? I don't know.
Do not fear. We have prepared for this. The Father has shown us the way. Prepare my bunker. I am coming to join you. We will await the collapse together.
Ow! Motherfuck.
Your time's over!
Oh, I don't have enough ammo. Got him. Whew. Whew. Jesus. I have some lurkers on my road. Yeah, man. Damn nice. But Emu Paradise does ring a bell, Ned, so maybe that will work. So not often I find new streamers I enjoy watching, but glad to have found y'all. Yeah, no, it's bad. I have to do some shouts and stuff for people can see it. Oh, cheers, dude. You don't ever have to feel like you ever or anything like that. I'm glad you're having fun here, but do you want to bring some friends? Feel free. But yeah, man, I'm glad you're here. That's the main thing.
He's not. Look around you.
It's a decoy plane? Oh, could you imagine?
On the brink.
After I wasted all that
You can
time.
feel it in your bones. Look at the headlines.
I don't read the papers. No one reads papers
You want
anymore.
this key? Because
Unless
you
you're on a
think
bus or
saving
train,
people, but
and they have free
are
ones.
safe.
I do want the key.
We had a plan.
It's a terrible plan, though. You and your sister
You
are
don't
dead.
understand. You don't believe. You don't care.
It's gonna be my cult. Kill the leaders,
Mercy on your
take the
soul.
cult for myself. It's gonna be beautiful. Is he also gonna dissolve like Faith did? Or is he just, no, he's just gonna die and... Shit. That's a long way. 5,000 meters? It's too far.
I don't know what to say. John C. terrorized this valley for so long.
I know, and I've finished him in like a couple of days. Jeez.
You can't pat yourself on the back just yet.
Of course I can.
Hudson and everyone else trapped in John's bunker need to be rescued.
Nah,
I'll round up whoever I can and meet you there, but you need to go now.
I don't know.
No telling what Edenskate will do to them after all this.
I don't know. I think they just burn it out of proportion, you know. I think we're probably fine. Also, I just remembered. I probably have a shitload of perks. 54! 54 perk upgrades. Okay. Right. Well, let's do some of these, I guess. Oh, that's pretty good, actually. Get that one. Oh, and that one. We'll see what that's like. Dun, 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 dun. Might as well finish off this whole category. I don't want it to feel left out. Oh shit, yeah, we can do stuff for Boomer now. Shit, I've been wasting points. Boomer returns faster. Beautiful. He Sharky returns faster. I don't know who the fuck he is. Ah, they're all just a bunch of rubbish ones. Unlock an additional slot in your squad to let you play with 2 guns for hire in a single player. Oh. Then I may as well let Sharky have some fun. And Adelaide, you get yours too. Boomer's, but yeah, of course, man. Your Doja's always got to be your priority, you know. Well, that's actually good, yeah. Oh, carry more ammo? That would have been a lot better too. Maybe I should have done those first. You live and you learn, hey? Well, let's get Boomer over here. Wait, can I also get the cat? I can have a dog and a cat. Wow. Wow, best of both worlds. Let's go outside and meet my little friends. Who's first? Boomer's first. Hey boy. Good pup. Good pup. Yeah. Okay. Now where's my Peaches? There she is. How you doing, girl? Yeah, you're a good kitty. I love Boomer more, but you're a damn good kitty. Wow, man, I'm like fucking Dr. Dolittle over here now. Look at this shit. I wonder if they can lick each other to health as well, like I can lick myself to health. I mean, they can lick me to health. I can't lick myself to health. Can't even lick myself in the best of ways.
Bunker access granted.
Good, because I wanted to get in there. It's going to be a revote about... I've not heard anything about that yet, no. We've basically got till, I think, October to actually do the things. We're basically, if we've reached Brexit without any deals done, we're fucked, is basically what's happening. I don't think we can back out now, though. I don't think they will back out. I think it's a lost war. I really wish they would. I always wanted to stay in the EU. They never did anything to me to say, like, why we should actually leave, you know. But what's done is done. I really hope the government sorts some shit out soon about it. Damn it, Kyle. I thought I could trust you to you know, be honest with it all. I mean, it was honest, that's exactly what I said, but... If it's the dude who left me a few times, I really don't care. Oh, hi! I didn't see you. I'm sorry, I didn't see you. I apologise. I genuinely didn't see them. What's leave? But I mean, they made a shit. Yeah, they put a load of just fucking loads of just this, but there was never any conclusive proof or any real reasoning behind it. I was like, where's this? Yeah, it should never, in my opinion, it should never have been our decision. They should never ever have given it to the fucking public, you know. Whoa, why are you here now? You weren't all here before. You were all right fucking here as well. God damn. Oh, and now for mortars too. Well, just fucking get on with the mortars. God damn, why did they all start there? Yeah. But I can't... I mean, I can. Anyone can lick themselves, but... I did it a little bit. I didn't actually lick myself much. That would have been gross. Okay. Okay, cool, cool. This is how every single bit's gonna restart, is it? Brilliant, okay. Okay. Oh shit. This is bullshit, this is bullshit. This is absolute bullshit. Oh no. Oh. Not there. I know where you meant. No. Especially with my bag, I'd be lucky to lick a nip, you know. I don't think I could even ever do that, to be fair. No, I don't think I could, they're too far away. Please leave me alone. Run away, run away, run away. No, don't come outside. I don't even have that much fucking ammo. God damn it, man. Okay, this has not put us in a good respawn. Hey, Haz, how you doing today, baby? This is a bit bullshit. Okay, let's just be like John. I mean, he's dead. Let's not be like John. I guess that's why we keep dying. Damn you, John. Stop sneaking in. I can see you're coming. I know what's happening. Don't. Stop it. Stop it. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Thanks for the clip. Okay, so we're just gonna get out and run. We're just gonna run and run and run and run. And run. And run. They didn't spawn me with my goddamn cougar or my beautiful, beautiful puppy then. No, please leave me alone, 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 leave me alone. I'm not your enemy, I'm not your enemy. I'm not your enemy, I'm a lost tourist. I'm going home. Don't worry about me. Okay. Just got none of those. Fuck me. Okay, so if this bit wasn't hard enough already, they now have fucking rocket launchers. Oh. Oh, Jesus. This is several levels of bullshit. Let me see if I can get the animals in here. And around. What do you mean Boomer is temporarily unavailable? He shouldn't be temporarily unavailable. He's been fine. Oh, here we go. Okay, now we're out of proper ammo. Yeah, I hear you. I don't believe you. I really don't think this can go well. Okay, I'm coming, baby. Come on, buddy. You got me. I mean, I got you. You got me a lot of the time, but I got you today. You go do your thing. Just get Boomer in here quickly. No, wait, now I can't. Oh. Because it's reset all of my fucking perks as well. God damn it. Okay. That's right. You should be careful. Don't shoot until you can see me, okay? It's too dangerous. It's too dangerous. It took my life too long. Stand up. Got him. Stand up. Stand up, or I'm just going to keep shooting your friends from long distance. Stand up and take your death while your friends keep dying. Why would you do this to your friends? Okay. Well, fuck you, buddy. Stupid box. Oh, shit. Well, there goes Pupsy. Any more of these assholes about? We good to save my Doge? You're right, bud. Why can I hear another animal growling? Oh wait, Peaches is here now as well.
I'm getting the hell out of here!
So I've got both of them now? Okay, he's running away. Jesus. Good boy. Right, well let's I swear to God, if those people are also now still in that bunker, god damn it, I'll be upset. I mean, where did all these people just come from? Okay, we have to redo everything. So let's... Where's that one so we can have the two companions? This one, I think. Okay. And we'll wrap up some fishing. Whew. Even your pets know you're boned, yeah, that's it. You got the game working, but I need to configure the controls to work on keyboard. Yeah, to be fair, that's one of my issues that I had, was either trying to figure out a keyboard or even just mapping it to a new controller, because those old ones only had like 3 buttons and it doesn't quite work as well. I can never get them to sit exactly where I want them to, but it's all doable, it's all good. Okay. Nope, shouldn't have done that. Okay, cool, we didn't die, so that's the main thing. Save, where can we save? We can't save because we're in a mission. Right. I see. So, I don't feel like I have both Peaches and the pup. No, I don't. Okay. Pets assemble. They may not actually be allowed indoors for some reason. Right, so they're going to be... There's going to be a bunch of jabronis in here again.
Lockdown disengaged.
I don't want to die again. I don't want to have to go through all of this stuff again. It's very disheartening to have to do all of that. God damn it, why is it? Cool. Oh shit. Oh shit, I see why. Shit, I'm never gonna survive that. Run, 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 run. It's not gonna come up any further? Whew, okay, that's a couple down. Actually, while they're down there, let's see if we can make some more items quickly. No, can't make any of those. Okay. Can't make any of those. Okay. Yoko Ono once said yes was the most powerful word in the world in an art exhibit and John and Mayer. That's true, actually. And the Beatles were a very well-known cult, so it all lines up. He's still looking up. I got you, buddy. Don't worry. You're covered. Now. Anyone else? Please, please, no one else. What could I have looted back here? Oh, him. That. Okay. Hey, Brandon! How you doing today, buddy? Lovely to see you, dude. Ah, that's mine, man. I've had this since I was about, like, 13 or some shit, I think. This one's Sean Kemp, and I've got the Gary Payton one as well. Both the away jersey. I never knew why my parents got me 2 away jerseys, if I'm being honest, but... I love them still. It's just too hot. I don't usually wear vests at all. Yeah, only come room cover me, yeah.
Welcome to the future. I'm so glad we're all here to share it together.
Fizz, I got dinner, be back soon. No worries, Ned. I'll catch you real soon, buddy. Damn, yeah, fuck me, it's 5:40 already. Today has flown by. But yeah, man, they were the duo. So upset that there is no such thing as Seattle Supersonics anymore. I really hope they. I mean, there was always stipulations that they were meant to remake the team, so I'm hoping that they actually stand by that one day at least. Yep, Deputy also killed random gunman number 12. He was actually quite high up on the list. He was number 63. He wasn't worth shit. But number 12, he'd been here a long while. Those are the worst ones. You have to shoot them like in the eyeballs in a small slit between their helmet. Well, that one was easy because he just ran at me. Oh, okay. So I accidentally threw fire at the one place where they'd kept their fireworks. Oh, we'll go that way, okay.
We gotta stop him!
Who have we got to stop?
We killed John!
Is this someone I can save? Nah. I can't let you out. I don't actually know how. I can probably let you out once I murder everyone, I guess.
This place just like the father told us!
Shh. In fact, let's do something here.
You see the deputy?
No?
Kill him when
Right.
they stand!
Oh, fuck it. We'll just kill him. I was going to try and be clever, but...
It's happening!
Been real careful, because I don't know how far back it's going to spawn me. And it terrifies me that I might have to do that bit at the beginning again. Holding, guys. We'll be there. Good. At work right now? Okay, nice. Yeah, I'm doing splendid, man. Doing swell as a bell, you know? And yeah, I'm really wish I'd make it. Because I've never really found another team that I was like, yeah, this will be the team I'll follow. You know? It's sad. Did you know that over half the NBA make this playoffs? Yeah, I knew like a crazy amount do. I know it's usually just usually Golden State and the Cavs in the finals, but like it's gonna be the Lakers now, isn't it, against the Golden State, because fucking LeBron's moved to Lakers, hasn't he, I believe. But yeah, I knew loads of teams make the playoffs. I know some teams still never do though, right? It's just crazy to me how, like, when I sort of stopped watching basketball as much, like, when I didn't have the access to it on TV and shit, like, Chicago Bulls were, like, the best team with the Lakers and shit. And you look now and it's like, Chicago who? Lakers are still killing it, to be fair, but it was still, like, Golden State and the Cavs were pretty much always killing it. So, that's why they should have 2 more teams to make it, like, 32, like, stupid NFL. Yeah, and fucking the Sonic should be one, man. Hey, Rana, how are you doing today? Lovely to see you. I'm doing great. How are you? Oh, better than them, I'm guessing. Oh, cutscene. We made it somewhere. All the 90s teams suck now, yeah, man. Yeah, the Knicks, yeah, exactly. They're another, like, just completely forgotten about team now. Hey, you're a police lady? I'm a police lady man. Stop trying to stab me. I'm a good person. Yeah. She was looking at me for ages. How did she not know? Jesus. You're dead tired? Rana. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm feeling that. It's been hard to sleep recently.
Hi, dog.
Hope you get some good sleep soon. Hey, Bakura, how you doing, dude? And you're a Celtics. Ah, are the Celtics any good? Yeah, Raptors are still ones that never seem to get anywhere. You woke up 5 PM yesterday, haven't slept since then. Damn, did 9 hours of work, meantime went shoppings. God damn, Runner, yeah, that sounds absolutely exhausting. I think you deserve some sleep. Carrie stops being a prima donna, Raptors might be a problem. Okay. Oh shit, Bakura, you having PC problems? What's happening, dude?
All because of him.
Anything that we could maybe get some advice on?
Him. That fucking
You know that's...
piece
You
of
know it's a
shit.
lady with just a picture on her.
He would come down here, and he would just stand
Hey, no, 2 or
there.
3 years ago, Raptors did amazing. Did they? Okay, well, that's cool. I always like their, I always like their like their little logo with the raptor on it. I'm not gonna lie. The snakes for trading deals on. What was it? Just like a money move type thing. Madden House. I know everyone's turning up now, around. PC went turn on according to Discord for Bakura. That is. Ah, shit. Okay. Are you getting any like when you go to turn it on, Bakura? Are you getting any beeps from the motherboard? Because depending on how many beeps you get, that usually signifies your issue. It might be like
Fucking place
anything,
down.
but
Help me.
no signal to monitor.
Stay
Okay.
out of my way.
Kevin is better. Do you know? Is that real basketball player? Do you know basketball players?
Come on, we gotta get to the control room.
Hang on, we're talking basketball, lady. We but no signal to the monitor. That's That's shitty. Have you tried plugging it into, like, because you've got that TV, right? Have you tried plugging a HDMI from the computer into the TV to check if it's just your monitor having an issue? It turns on fans and shit, turn on but no signal. Okay.
Safeguarded against
Yeah, you've tried another monitor? Okay.
one section at a time.
Might be the video card then, dude.
Get down to the rooms and free the prisoners while I hit the locks. I'll radio you.
Emergency doors are unlocked.
Hang on, lady. Yeah. So it might be the video card. I'm just trying to think if there's a way you can revert. Like, it might be worth trying to check on Google if there's a way you can revert to using your onboard graphics card that would have been with your PC rather than your like GPU graphics card, like your actual big graphics card. If you can get it onto the old graphics card, you might be able to boot it up into like safe mode or something and see then if there's an error with the current graphic card itself. That maybe. I can try and definitely give you a lot more help off stream, but that sucks, man. Hopefully you can just get it working. Maybe it's just been too hot and it just needs a little nap. Sometimes technology just needs a little nap, just like the rest of us, you know. They just think he's better, but the dude refused to play for Greg Popovich. Greg Popovich? That's a name even I know. You never reviews Greg Popovich.
I'm going after the dinner!
Can you hear the H drive rocking? That's a good point, yeah. Hey, no, yeah, how you doing today, buddy? Had that trouble with my dad's PC. Oh shit, dude, I'm reading. There's too many. Could you stop it? Anyway, so I had that problem with my dad's PC. I had to restart, reseat the GPU, swap over to DVI cable, just randomly worked. Right. Yeah, man. That might be it. Bakura just like, it might have even been where there's been heat. They could have been like, I mean, I don't think plastic actually swells that much, but maybe the heat's affected some stuff slightly, and if you unplug and reheat the, unplug and re-put back in your graphics card, that could make it work. Yeah, have you been able to try other cables at all, Bakura? Could you be on fire quietly? Get out of my way. Liberate! Liberate! Get gone!
One of the sections is tied to another control room. I can't free the locks from here.
Fine,
Look,
found
find
it.
the other control room.
I found it?
Wait, the control room's locked.
No missile found. Abort launch sequence.
What's going on here?
Okay,
So,
keep an eye out. I just lowered a platform from the missile launch
Huh.
silo. Should get you through to the control room. You'll see a bunch of consoles.
Okay.
Destroy them. Shit, Peggy!
yeah, you don't know yet. You've come in at a big moment, it seems. I've just killed John on here, and now I'm trying to free the people from here and blow the shit up, I guess. I swear to God, if a plane starts attacking me again, oh, hi guy. Yeah, if a plane starts attacking me as I try and blow this place up again, there was like a plane or a van or something tried blowing me up as I like as I blew up the last massive thing when I killed Faith.
The only way to free up the last
Oh, I hate this dude. Oh Jesus, did you just help me? Oh shit. I wanted to be evil, but instead I just set myself on fire. Loot all the bodies? Yeah. Oh yeah, I should build some stuff. I usually do loot all the bodies, to be fair. Just being a bit more lazy at this moment. Oh, I can just build that. Nice. Okay. So I've just got to blow this shit up, right? Capel.
Blow them up. Just hurry, Rook.
Seriously? I mean, I can kill it. Maybe a grenade as well. What? What? Oh, that one maybe. Eh. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, on Spencer's channel. Oh, this might be the bit I came in on Spencer's for a bit. But then I was like, I have to get out. I don't want to see. I don't want to know what happens. Shoot all the lights. I'll figure it out. But I don't have much ammo either. I have none on that. Let me try.
We're running out of time.
Oh, okay. Destroy all the consoles in here? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, so I've got to like, make sure all of the yellow ones are out.
It worked! The rooms are open. Now get back to the silo. I think I got something figured out.
Okay. It was this part, fair enough.
Caution. Caution.
Guess we're going this way. Oh, hey! I didn't even see you guys. You're funny.
Danger.
I think you nearly got me, buddies. You nearly got me. For a steam bath. Okay, right.
Start making your way up. These things
Can I just grapple?
Years, so if one of them jams,
Huh.
shoot the hinges.
Can I get that
System
one?
failure.
Yeah.
Damn it! Safeguarded against the global lock release. I'll have to do one section at a time.
Oh, no.
Evacuation.
Rooks, keep climbing. When you get near
Come
the
in.
top, you'll come to a room where the cultures all their fuel and bliss tanks.
Oh. Hey!
Caution. Caution.
Yeah, I missed.
Proceed to the nearest exit in a calm and orderly fashion.
Do I have to jump that? Oh god. Oh god. Whoa. Oh, actually, it was not hard at all. That was not in the least bit hard. Okay. Destroy the ballistic containers.
Emergency.
Oh, okay. So.
Light it up!
Fire it up! Fire it up!
Proceed to the nearest exit in a calm and orderly fashion. System outside detected.
The whole place is gonna go! I'm grabbing
Oh.
the rest of the prisoners and
Excuse me.
heading out.
I need to get out of here, buddy.
Rook, see you on the outside.
See you on the other side, buddy.
Fire detected.
There's a fire?
Deputy, backup's on the way.
Oh shit.
Chopper inbound. We'll meet you at the top.
Oop, what am I doing? What do I didn't mean to do that?
There should be launch panels around you.
Oh shit, nothing there. Well, I did myself a disservice. Damn it. Oh, so hard to run a good cult these days. It is. I mean, they've put a lot of effort into these underground bunkers. To be fair, with all of the bunkers, the planes that they have that shoot everything, it's crazy that they're not a bit further in society. You know, they actually have a lot of power and resources. How aren't they doing more with it? You know, did this magically give me ammo? 9. Okay.
Chopper inbound. We'll meet you at the top, deputy. Open the hatch. There should be launch panels around you.
Oh shit, hello.
Override. To open main hatch. Proceed to the nearest exit in a calm and orderly fashion.
I don't see anything either. Oh shit.
To the nearest
Hey, I have some of this
in
back.
a calm and orderly fashion. Override must be engaged to open main.
know where I'm gonna go still.
Caution. Caution. Fire in section
Oh
B.
Jesus. Oh, they're up there now.
Evacuate in an orderly manner.
Your time will come, Skinner.
Oh, Jesus.
Right above you. Come on, deputy. Hook yourself onto the skid.
Hook myself up. This goddamn firing peoples. Oh, up there. Yeah, I'm trying.
No way! Ain't no escape for you!
Thank God they just flew off as soon as I did this. I did not think I was going to make it flying out there. At least I haven't started all over. Right? Jesus. That's how you freak them out, Kyle. You run up to them, reload their gun, they're like, oh my god, how confident were they? Hey, fireworks in America. That's what we wanted. We liberated them, guys. Ah, yeah, we did it. Spread eagle. It's a good little bar, you know?
Hey, goddamn! I've never seen anything like that before.
How did you see anything? It was all underground, you liar.
We saved you for a reason.
Was he the dude who kept getting smacked in the head because I wouldn't say yes?
You gave us something back we thought we'd never have again.
Beer.
Hope.
Oh.
Whatever happens next, we're with you.
Hey.
Okay. We're gonna start our own cult. You're already with me, you
that
can't
was
take it
a
back.
hell of a job, Brooke.
I know, you nearly killed me.
The way I see it, you're the one in charge now.
I was always the
And
one in
if you
charge.
ever need anything, just let me know.
I need to start my own cult. You need to get me some tractors first. We need to, I don't know, attract people. So tractors will help with our cult. Oh yeah, you're probably upset. I killed another one of your little family. You keep saying about this poor seal. Hope the seal's okay. Excuse me.
My brother John was loved by few, feared by many,
Nah, you weren't shit. You weren't scary.
misunderstood by all, except me.
It's a bit big-headed.
John was not born a monster. He was just a child when our family was torn apart.
Families get divorced, dude.
He was
Jeez. Get over it.
Kind and full
We
of
don't
joy.
all make cults. Some of us, but not all
He
of
was
us.
easily preyed upon.
Right? By you.
John was not perfect. And sometimes he was not even good. But he was my brother.
This guy's a bit of a Debbie Downer, am I right?
And those responsible for his death will be punished.
He's still got his cult. I don't know why he's so upset. Jeez.
I promise you that.
Pretty sure he was looking at Kyle just then. You're in trouble now, Kyle. You shouldn't have pissed him off, buddy. I don't know how you did, but... Hey, saving Deputy Hudson. Cheers.
Could have done a lot of damage with that shit if you hadn't taken care of them.
Yeah, they were never going to be able to do it. I'm too good.
Here, but things are definitely looking up for us. So keep at it.
Oh well, thanks.
Can't thank you enough for getting rid of those fucking cultists.
Sure. Not everyone. I'm sure Otto absolutely adores you. You have no items to sell. Okay, so let's look at some of these weapons. Have a look what we play with. He should be a little bitch. Ah. He shouldn't be a little bitch? You're saying Otto is a little bitch? Kyle. No. He's glorious. You need to rethink your entire life. Should I buy this? So can I use these? I think I can use these instead of the pistol. I really like that pistol, you know? It's probably a better pistol. Oh, that's like an old Western pistol. What's that one? Does a lot of damage, quite accurate. John Sniper is pretty sweet? Okay, I might do that. The dude who was going to try and attack. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair. No! Kyle, now I'm no longer dumb for you. I'm just regular dumb. Oh. But you reckon, okay. Oh yeah, I'll buy the sniper. Is this John Sniper? Is it this one, do you mean? The Free State? Or is there a different sniper? Because if anybody has any suggestions of like, yeah, that's actually a really good weapon, like a good one to get, then let me know. I'm more than happy to try and get some. We've got loads of Skrilla on this now. Look at it, we're balling 33 on here. Jeez. Jiminy G's. I still haven't brought a slingshot. I might as well buy a slingshot. I want to put it there. No, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, it's the colour of a cheetah at the moment. We're going to go with our normal... We're going all like red and black. Doo-doo. So that's all I've got. That was a bit better. Recurve bow is better, okay. Buy that as well. Oh, I can keep that skin. So... So that one gets me great accuracy, the damage stays the same. The handling's gone? Okay, go for that one. Okay. Ah, my fishing rod, yeah, I've got a decent fishing rod. So we'll re-equip that one. I think we've done that one. Wait, so John Sniper. Is John Sniper this one, the Free State one? Oh yeah? Or do I have to find John Sniper elsewhere? Dun, 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 dun. I'll just buy this one anyway. It's pretty cool. Okay. Actually, this sniper should be fucking lethal now. Look at it, Jesus. Okay, so I do also have the shovel. I forgot about that. This looks pretty cool. I feel like I should just buy all of the cool things like this, maybe. Why not? I'll leave that for now. Oh, I need to do that to customize it, okay. Well, that's still pretty cool. Just go for the red dot on that one. Okay. So Jacob's rifle? Oh, fair enough. I haven't killed him yet. I probably can't get him yet, but that's okay. Okay. Jesus Christ, man. Recommended you pay $16.99 for 2,000 bars. You get a whole 400 free. Damn, man. How much for the stuff again for bars? So, right, let's see. So this pistol is 400 silver bars. So I would need to pay £4.29 for that, really. But then it does that annoying thing where it leaves you with a few left over, so you're like, oh, I might as well buy some more then so I can actually get rid of them. Otherwise they're just going to sit there doing nothing. You cheeky bastards. Okay, so... Actually, what is our gun loadout at the moment? Okay.
Thanks a million.
No worries. Okay. Right. Let's have a look on the map then. Anywhere else to go? Oh no, there's some missions opening up.
Damn it! Hello?
Hello. Sliding into first, and he's
I
safe.
need your help again. Once John Seed was out of the picture, it was only a matter of time before his followers.
Hey,
wavered.
Mr.
The
Conqueror,
folks
how
in
you
Seed,
doing,
which was
man?
farm
It's been a little
claimed
while.
that the
Hope you're doing
cult
well.
is a defector.
I'm doing splendid,
He
thank you.
sought refuge
It's
with
good
the
to see you, dude.
resistance at the Silver Lake Trailer Park, but I've been in the dark ever since. There's no telling when the Lord will lift the burden of the wounded off my shoulders. Go to the Silver Lake Trailer
week
Park
Tuesday.
and make sure that young man is safe and sound. We need to be open to forgiveness. If not, we're no better than the cult.
I wouldn't be standing here if it weren't for you.
Yeah, wait, who wanted to... You're sitting down. Were you the one who said you're standing there because of me?
Maybe the
Burnaby.
Lord really...
Actually, we could do with a car. Good mate, yeah, been working a lot lately, so haven't had time to watch your awesome streams. No worries, dude. Well, I'm glad work's keeping you busy nonetheless. Always means more dollar at the end of the day, so that's cool. Hey, Key, how are you doing today as well? Jeez. I don't know why, but I imagined that being like mini-me saying it. God rest his soul. Is this game almost over? Well, I've killed 2 out of the 3 like main family members from the cult, and once you've killed all 3, you then face like the main guy. But I've got loads of missions still left. I've done a lot of the stuff I've done has been like not necessarily story based. It's been just sort of the more side mission-y type stuff, because I'd like to try and get those done before I get on to like the bigger picture stuff. But the bigger picture stuff's just been kind of going, you know. You have a mini Fizz? Wait, no, and not at the moment. I'm not fond of children. Be back with a laptop attempt 2. Oh, I really hope this one works fine with you. Well, what happened to the other one, Key? I thought it was working okay. It was just when you said yesterday, I was like, oh no. Alright.
Man, I'm out of stuff in your shit.
Oh, double kill.
Bring her back! I swear to God!
Who put all this smoke here? I can't see a thing. Oh, shit. My bad. Who gets in the way of a sniper?
You guys just don't quit!
Oh, you're shooting from over there?
Shit! We're screwed! We're so screwed!
I don't know what you mean, dude. We're fine. Was that it? That was it. Hi, my name's Deputy. What's yours? My name's Deputy.
We're fucking trapped!
Oh, and yeah, I probably will buy the DLC. I don't know if I'll do the DLC straight away or not. I might do, because otherwise I'll have to reinstall it. But I probably will buy the DLC for this, to be fair. And you know you want to see my mini Fizz.
That was our only chance of getting out. I'd go myself, but my
Sure that
wife's
wasn't a triple?
pregnant,
It's a
due
good
any
slider.
second. I just don't know what I'm supposed to do. I mean, without that plane, we're fucked.
No screen marks so far? Cool, that's good at least.
My family needs your help.
Sniper nibs.
I'm sorry.
I think it was
I
his
don't like
hat.
getting emotional.
I think it was the back of his hat
Name's
that
Nick,
saved
by the
him.
way. Look,
Hi.
if I know the cult, they've taken my plane to John Seed's ranch. It's got the only other airstrip big enough to land the thing.
Yeah, I mean,
I know
he's
it's a
not
lot
there
to
anymore.
ask, but I'm desperate, partner.
I'll do it if I can blow up that tank in the workshop. I'm gonna blow up your tank in the workshop, so just get used to it. Did you see what the enemy did to you? Savage. Hey, let's steal all his shit. That is fine, Key. Losing the plot and melting is a perfectly reasonable response for a day like today. Anything else I can steal? Legit. Oh, I can blow that up there. Just doing the tidying. Oh, he was already pre-dead. Oh, no fun. So are you? Oh, their plane crashed. That makes sense. Okay. Okay. Right. Hey, welcome back, Ned.
This is Grace.
Hi, Grace. This is Deputy. Yeah, I feel like if it can be blown up, it's my duty to blow it up. I mean, game makers made stuff blow upable on purpose, you know? It would be rude not to take advantage of it. Bank seized local watering hole. Wait, hold up. I think they spelled seized wrong as well. Oh well. Stupid. Stupid heads. Watch out, wild car. Watch out, wild tree. Deputy F, yeah. Oh. Mr. F. Okay, this car's crap. We just... Yeah, we didn't want it, that's why we put it there. Is there anything you've not been able to blow up yet?
Still some babies left, but look around. We did it. There's no forgiveness in me for cult followers.
Yeah, you can't blow up trees. You can blow up every animal, just to be fair. There's a bridge all the way over there, let's go to that. Maybe we'll find something exciting on the way to the bridge. Ooh, talking. Wait, have I been here? I must have been here because it's open. Okay. Ah, snakes. You want me as Prime Minister? I can tell you I'd make a couple of pretty decent law changes that I think people would be happy about. Oh, he was a good guy. But he didn't tell me not to kill civilians. So he obviously wasn't an innocent civilian. What did you do? He always tells me not to kill innocent civilians. We know he's not innocent, but what did he do? Oh! Let's turn around it. Were there when I first... You were there when I first watched the clip on Proper. Oh, nice! So it's come around full circle. Really? This is the world's best ATV and I can't get up a hill? It's called an all-terrain vehicle. How can it not go... How can it not do the terrain steep? The steep terrain. Oh, we're back at the alien place. It was a very gentle murder, right? He never even knew what happened. Boys straight, boys straight. I'm not gonna turn. Oh, damn. Nearly made it all the way through. Back to the church. Is this a different church?
Hey! Up here! I need your help!
Hang on. Apparently there's some bad guys here. I don't know if she noticed. Oh, that was pretty effective. Oh, also, where the fuck am I? Why are my cat and dog still not here? Tag team her, or triple threat, I guess. Yeah. Who's still trying to put bullets into me? It's incredibly rude. Get them, animals. I think we're good. Did you say that? I'm here, Jesus. What do you need?
Hey! Bell tower!
Hmm. Cat, yeah, I got myself a cat and a dog. They're pretty good together. It is, yeah. This game is sale? Oh, not at the moment, Key. This was gifted to me by Aya because he is a superbly beautiful, lovely guy. I'm enjoying it thoroughly. I don't think it's even gone on sale that cheap yet, to be fair, either. So, but maybe around the Christmas sales it'll go down a bit more.
You got good timing. See those graves down there?
Yeah, I noticed them actually.
My pops was one of them.
Oh, that's nice.
The piggies are trying to defile them. They're trying to erase our history, demoralize us, get us to break so we'll roll over. Not on my fucking watch. Ain't nobody gonna touch my pop's grave while I'm still breathing.
Right.
I'm a good
Which one is it?
shot,
I'm gonna go piss
but
in
I
it.
need someone to watch my back. They'll be here any second.
I'm watching her back. I don't really see. She wants southeast. That's this way, yeah. Boop. 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 See if they could all stand still like that guy. Thanks. Eastbound, okay. Oh. Oh, I'm out of ammo? Alright, wait, is there more ammo over here? Maybe she left me more ammo? I mean, she wasn't mean, was she? She was super mean. Alright, let's do this. Oh, get fucked! I didn't even mean to hurt you. You get them, kitty. Oh shit. Oh shit. I was gonna go save Peaches. Save me, Boomer. Save me, Boomer. Save me, buddy. Say it beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, I love you. You're such a good dog. You're such a good dog. You're such a good doggy. No. Come and Kit Kat. You're back in here too now.
We can do this, deputy. More coming from the southeast.
Is that me? I thought I was shooting this one. What was that? I didn't hear you, buddy. Oh shit! Both my babies are down. You got this, Boomer. No, what? Yeah, you're alive. You're alive. You got this, Peaches. You're alive. That's it. I saved your lives. Come help your boy. Come help your boy. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, doggy's alright. I was scared he wasn't. Ah, Peaches. Gotcha, gotcha. Alright, they did it. They're alive. They're all good. A few bullets can't kill a dog or a giant cat.
I owe you. Not a lot of people would have stuck their neck out like that.
I'll take
It means
gold.
a lot to me. My pops always said, as long as we keep believing in each other, there's still hope. If we stick together, look out for one another, cult will never break us.
Yeah, but he's dead
I
now,
ain't
so...
about to get all sappy and shit, but if you ever need help, give me a call.
I may have
Got
key,
your back.
yes, but it's fine. They're pretty much bomb-proof. Plus, I'm gonna pet both of them now.
Didn't like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good fight, Peaches. Good girl. Good girl. Where's your brother? Chilling indoors, Boomer? Beautiful. Good boy. Yeah. Good pupsy.
I've known her since she was a
What the
kid.
fuck you want? I'm playing with my animals.
Every bit the soldier her daddy was. Probably 10 times the shot, too. She'll watch your back.
I sure
when
could
the
use
shit
an
hits the
assist.
fan.
Cultists are always baptizing folks down by the sacristy.
Oh.
Drowning, more like. We
Pet
tried to take them
symbiote.
out,
If
but
there
got
was a
caught.
game where all you went
Now the
around
cult has my
and did was
squad.
petting
There's
pets,
too many of them for me
that'd
to
be
deal
incredible.
with. Save them from the cult, then get them to a weapons cache I stashed across the river.
It's a lost cause!
Yep. Lost cause. Don't worry about it. So, anything we can steal? Apology to God. Sorry, bro. Didn't mean to shit in church. What happened to these guys? Seem unwell. Oops. Oops. Always press escape to get out of that. Always. Okay. So, just gonna look for missions. I don't feel like I did all of Faith's missions. I don't know why there isn't still more there to do. Molotov cocktails are great for causing chaos. That's a nice little tip they gave us. Kind of thought about that. I was just trying to relight campfires.
Nothing but the dance.
Right. Get out of the way, Peaches. Get out of the way, Boomer. I'm doing this so Peaches and Boomer know where to find me. So much litter around here, it's crazy. Nope, wrong button. I simply meant to press forward to carry on driving. It's alright, we ghosted the car. It's the new thing. Why can't I get back in the car? Let me stop moving. Please. Come on now. I need you. Where are you going? What a dumb car. Hey, buddy. Your car's not much better, is it? It's another dog. Get on my way, lady. Yeah, good pooch. Some pro tips. Yeah, yeah. You're getting them all here. Did I switch guns with someone by accident? Some bad guys here, be careful. He's going back down to lower ground. He didn't really find much. Still behind my goddamn fence. There we go, Jesus. He's really trying to make it difficult for us to shoot now, isn't he? Careful, guys. Don't get hurt, okay? I don't know what to do if I lost you too. God damn it, Peaches, your ass is in the way, girl. I don't remember kidnapping anyone, so I don't believe we have. How fast?
Nice dog. Looks
Thanks.
well trained.
Yeah, yes. Heyo. You right? So they did kidnap someone.
How's it going, bud?
Pretty good. And now I'm an accomplice to kidnap him. He's not. He'll eat your face. Well, we seem to have some time before the people attack, so I'm just going to have a nice little look around. They need to fix their thing. Could you stop? Who the hell is knocking? Shut up! Oh! Oh! This is a bit odd, right? Hey, Miss Honeypenny, how are you doing today? It's lovely to see you. This guy's having some problems. Yeah. Lit job of what you played as this crack job. I'm really enjoying this game, it's very fun. I don't know why this car can't stop booping around. I'm gonna reverse. There we go. Okay, today I think tomorrow will be better. Okay, nice. Whew, and thank you very much for that clip. Okay, there we go. Oh! There was someone else with him. I didn't know that. He was trying to save his friend from the quick mud, I guess. And it's set. Now they're both in a wee bit of distress. Okay. Let's talk to these kidnappers.
Wish I had a medal or a trophy for you or something.
You could buy one? I mean, I'm sure there's a shop. Anyway.
If he says he wants to leave Eden's Gate, then we gotta try and help him.
Peggies are trying to take him back. We gotta stop him.
We can do it. We can do it. Some Skyroll level shit, yeah, right. Oh, wrong one. cool.
Get ready for me! More from the back!
Oh, that can actually shoot a lot quicker than I thought it could.
The road! They're there!
Fuck it. Oops. Now I'm in a bad place. Oh. I mean, who shoots a poor, defenseless, helpless animal? Really? Come on. We must fit in tomorrow for a few days. Oh, nice! That's fucking awesome! Oh, that's not what the defector is. You're alright. I mean... Oh, I see, he just didn't want to leave the truck. Bless him. She's down to me now. Oh, nice. I've got to carry this jabroni. Alright.
Don't let them take me.
Okay. You're good, buddy, don't worry. Oh, we're getting resistance. Yep.
Get me out of here.
I'm trying.
They won't stop coming.
We won't stop shooting. Why are these people so mean? I'm taking this guy out for a lovely day out. Save me, Peaches. Good girl. Alright, you still good? This way. They can't see me. Shit. Now they can see me. Oh shit, hello. Where are you? Where'd he go?
Get me out of here.
I'm pretty sure he was dead until I picked him back up. He looked pretty dead. Got him from the... Ah, this been the most I tell much of Wimbledon. Fair enough. He's about here. Hand it back to somebody else. Oh, Jesus. Hello. No, but I got him here! Well, that's unfair. I got him there. It's not my fault he set on fire at the end. I mean, I walked for a fire, but he makes his own choices in life, you know?
Don't let them take me.
Deputy, I dug up as many resistance members as I could find. They're going to meet you at the nearby docks.
Get me out of here.
Use a medkit whilst carrying someone, that's pretty dope. Can I just put this in here? No, I can't just... okay.
They won't stop coming.
They'll stop at some point. try and take a wide berth around them. Should be okay. Yeah, you're right. You got us, Boomer. Protect us, baby. Shit, Peaches is down, I think.
Don't let them take me. That's our business!
Oh, my game started for a second there. Yeah, they got it right. You got it. Okay, cool, cool. They'll take care of the rest. Well, don't worry, baby. We're here.
Great job! We need you back out there! Don't let the baggies get
No, Peaches, no. Peaches, no, hang on. Oh. Peaches is only temporarily unavailable, they're fine. I have, yeah. You're a religious fanatic too. Well, that was fun. Have they taken him yet? They have. Where did they go? I didn't even see him do it. And Peaches will be okay. At least Boomer's fine. He does a little doggy paddle. Now that's adorable.
I can't believe it's really you.
Yeah, it is. Bye. I was going to take this car, but I think I was the one who blew up all their tyres. So, I got a couple of maps. Do you reckon they're going to be nice enough to give me the last 2 lighter locations that I need? Because that would be really cool. And really nice of them.
Name's Jess. Jess Black.
So there's a little few missions. I think they're the ones that are already active, right? Doing a quick little lighter hunt. I want those 2 lighters. Oh wait, there's still more this way. Doom 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 doom. Okay. No lighters, bastards. Okay. Okay. So is that actually one from Clean Water Act? Yeah, okay. Let's do that one. Start travelling up that way, you know. I did hear stories about Faith, and then I murdered that bitch, so I guess I finished the story on Faith, if you will. Ooh, these can be blown up. Right? I didn't mean to kill more. That's 2 innocent civilians. Oh no, it's not my dog. Let's just get out of here. They weren't very neighbourly, you know. Good boy, Boomer. Just want to make sure you're safe. Stop. Son of a bitch. I'm the police, you're meant to stop. I want to commandeer your vehicle.
Just leave it somewhere when you're done and I'll find it.
Cool. What a nice chap. I did set the marker, didn't I? No. Where is the marker? Oh, that way. Whoa. There we go. We could have a random civilian join us whilst we've also got... So he's a fireman? Oh, okay. Now, will he just appear here, or does he also run like Boomer? I really want him to just run like Boomer. No, he's having a poop. They just fucking run over Boomer. Don't you do it as well? And they are dragging Boomer along with them. But it doesn't seem to be injuring Boomer. If anything, it's helping Boomer catch up to us. Nope, that injured Boomer.
What's cooking, Popo?
Listen, Boomer seems to be okay. This is your one and only time, okay? I'm gonna kill you next time you hurt Boomer. Let's go. Carry on.
Order up.
Hey, Inky, thank you very much for the 30 Fizzbits. Gonna download all my software and hopefully I'll catch you later. No worries. I hope all the best. I hope this laptop gives you no issues and it's nothing but beautiful for you. Is this one blown up yet? Oh, you're bad guys? I didn't even realise. Can we carry on now? Can we go?
Out of school before they teach you how to deal with shit like that. All right, you take the point.
Okay. So you follow me with your car? I'm just gonna do this shit. Wait, what? Okay, there's some wild boats around here. Can this guy just... Home of Cheeseburger. Oh yeah, I haven't actually met Cheeseburger yet.
Go for a stroll, cover me. Peggy's, see
Oh, they're doing some yoga. They're probably quite relaxed now. Oh shit, they had a fucking direwolf. Where's your car? You're the worst. Oh, savage! That was savage. But we got some roadkill. And we got a new car. Brilliant. Can we get a passenger seat? Nope, repair torch needed. Well, all we can do is this then. I think I got her actually. He just made it really hard to see. Oh, that's 3 innocent civilians killed. We're doing well. Let's carry on. Where were we going? Which one of those things was it we wanted?
You're a main shaft, short of transmission.
Yeah. But yeah, have a great one, Keeper. See you soon. So the one straight forward. Okay. Hey, and Dutch Mafia, how you doing there, buddy? Welcome to the stream. I'm not intending to kill so many innocent civilians, but I could have a zombie on me.
Never wore a seatbelt before. Not about to start now.
Well, that's a terrible idea. You should always wear a seatbelt. I suppose ATVs don't have seatbelts, right? Oh. Whenever they say Peggies, I've been playing this for a while now, but I still can't shake them just saying like, meaning like people who play Peggle. Oh, actually.
Super flossy, all kinds of asses bouncing at me, money.
Can he grapple? Okay. Oh, some bad people here. Oh no! Oh, it's a wolf. Okay, it's not actually a dog.
Don't fuck with me! Holy shit! Oh, fuck! Oh, thank God! They
You're
got
right.
me pinned up here! Please,
Nah, you're good.
I need your help!
There's no one down here. You can just come down. Don't worry about it. We good. Wait, oh! That was playing some cool music before I accidentally clicked something else. Accidentally on purpose. Damn it. It's the worst one. Oh, and the sniper I'm using is one of the special ones. I brought it not too long ago, to be fair. I think it's called the Free State. It's like one of the ones from the special menu. Oh yeah, that's not my dog.
Holy shit!
Ooh, got it.
Thanks for the help. Hold on, I'm coming down.
Look, we're already up here. We might as well talk here.
Shit, I didn't think I was gonna make it.
Neither did
Thanks
I.
for that.
You're welcome.
I'm Sarah, by the way, Sarah Perkins.
I'm deputy.
Was heading up a wildlife conservation team studying the wolves in the park, and then
That's a nice view.
we found these things.
Dire wolves.
They're wolves, but
They're
not
dire.
like anything I've seen before. The cult calls them judges. Bigger, stronger, tougher than the other species around here. The cult tried to force my team to help him. When we said no, they sicked those things on us. Eli and the Whitetails got me out. Been trying to pay them back ever since.
Okay.
I've got a theory on how to use the cult's formula to help us track these creatures. But all I'm working with is corpses. I need a live judge. I know it's a big ask, but I'm desperate.
Sure.
The cult's training him at an old youth camp called the Breakthrough. If you go, be careful. You'll be heading right past the lumber mill. The cult has it on lockdown.
But who the fuck's shooting
This
you?
is for me, and I might...
Did they just... She just got in my way, I think. Oh no, she was going down a thing. Do we have to start the whole conversation? You just started playing this game, this weekend. Oh man, you're not very far into it? I've been doing all the side stuff first, and I've been thoroughly enjoying it, man. This is my first ever Far Cry game, and I'm really liking it.
To put something together that'll help you hunt these things. I'll meet you at the camp once it's clear.
Sounds good. I'm not actually going to help you now. I just want to unlock your mission.
That's what you are.
Okay, let's see if we can do a parachute from this one. Parachute! Yeah! Where did that other guy go? Did he die? I guess he died. Maybe I can get Peaches back now though? Let's see, is Peaches ready? Yeah, she is. Oh shit, no, I accidentally cancelled Bloomer, damn it. Alright, we'll bring you for now then, I guess. No, and now I don't, now I just have 2 jabronis, damn it.
Be right there. Change of position.
Hi-oh.
We got Peggy. Contact.
Okay, let's fly. Oh no, let's stay on the road. Oh. seems safe. Seems safe. Yeah, we're just running. It's fine.
You're that crazy fool what been putting toe to Peggy ass, eh?
Yeah, yeah. Just gonna rob you and then I'll come talk to you, buddy.
I know I'm doing great. You come from my goddamn.
That's one of my people. I was like, well, who's driving up? Well, yeah, let's see if we can make any more things.
Andy Adelaide's done better for herself than all of her seniors, that is.
We should keep moving.
Damn it, do it again. Yep, let's move.
Hey, great.
How long is it till I can get these guys back? Oh, straight away? There we go. Yeah, take a hike. Heyo.
You a registered voter? Ah, don't matter. I need help of a different sort. Let's get to the point. You see that steaming pile of disappointment over there praying?
No.
That's my loin fruit, Hurt Jr. Dumber than a coal bucket. He takes after his mama. Stupid sumbitch went and lost my campaign truck, Nancy. So named after the greatest first lady to ever serve this fine country, of course.
Nancy Sinatra.
If them Obama-loving libtards find out I can't look after my own property, I can kiss this Senate run goodbye. Now, seeing as you're on my land, and I didn't
You guys just go. I don't want you. Jeez, they just can't get over it, can they?
I say you owe me. Help numbnuts get my truck back so I can start focusing on my campaign again. Junior, someone's here to help you. Try not to fuck it up.
Oh, Jesus, you sound angry. Oh. I don't even know where his kid is. I haven't seen a single person. Stupid flowers. Oh, there he is.
Hey, Miko.
Shut up. Oh, hi.
Hey, man, I'm sorry. I don't want to go on assuming nobody's gender or nothing. I mean, I don't mean no disrespect. I just call all my homies dude or bro or man, you know, regardless of vegetalia or penile-ness.
Sure, fair enough.
Oh, deja voodoo, man. Have we met before?
That's a hard no.
Dang, man, my prayers have been answered. I got a direct line to that sweet little monkey god whose heart hangs in heaven.
Yeah, I know, right?
Guess since you're an
Actually,
angel
that's the thing though, Carl. I keep feeling like it's an apocalypse game, but it's not. It's just a small cult. Well, a pretty big cult, but in a small area, you know. But I genuinely feel like it's apocalypse. I feel like every time I see people just being chill, I'm like, it's weird.
Real cold outside. Never mind them wood ticks crawling all up in my junk, threatening me with Lyme disease and whatnot. So come on, man, help me get my daddy's truck back. Let's make dust before the old man starts shooting. He's hotter than a ghost pepper these days.
Oh, we're doing it now, I guess. Okay.
Senate run's been real stressful on him, man. He ain't cut out for that shit. You know how busy he is? Doesn't even have time to cut out for a shit.
Let's go. Trying to work out the same thing about Handmaid's Tale. Oh, I haven't actually seen it yet. I've heard it's very good.
Shit, man, I've been praying on
But wild animals appear out of nowhere. That's true, and there is a lot of people who are like blissed out of their heads, so they're like just zombies running after you trying to kill you, and everyone's like they're brain dead already, so you may as well kill them. So it pretty much is an apocalypse, but just no one really cares. They're like, nah, it's not. It's not Wonder Woman. Now we can get some air in the window. Can I throw rubbish at your face?
I'll be honest with you, it all started when I tried to join them. I mean, it
just wanted to get out of here.
They had all these guns, food, fine-ass females, and I mean, those are three things that I'm really all about. I mean, it seemed like one big party over there, you know, so I said, hey, Migos, where do I sign up? He said, sign up.
He's kept his car interior pretty nice, actually. It's really clean. Although there's some stains on this. There's a lot of stains on the seats. Oh my god, these seats are disgustingly stained. Oh, I don't really want to be in it. Oh, look at the ceiling. That's disgusting. Oh, I'm touching all of this.
Fuck out of there, man.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, I forgot my daddy's truck. He's been real butt sore since, so gotta get that truck. But you don't gotta worry about a thing, man. I got a nice
difficult to make sure you have enough mental energy. Yeah, I've heard it's really awesome.
Got that one covered. Step 2, pray for someone else to solve my problem. Done. Step 3 is... shit. I forget the rest, but they'll come to me as soon as we go.
Wait,
Hey,
alright.
You are a good listener, Boba Fett. Oh, man doesn't listen at all. I guess that's why I never feel heard. Me and him, we ain't getting along that well lately. Ever since he started running for office, he's been coming down on me real hard about
Baby, it's
about my public intoxication, how I am my firearms, stuff like that. But when we get his truck back from them Peggies, you're gonna be real impressed, dude.
Drive
He's gonna
faster.
love me so much, and then my mom's gonna have to try and love me more so she can compete with how much he loves me. And then he'll see how much she's loving me, and then he'll try and love me even more, and then birthdays and Christmases, we're gonna be off the chain.
We know about Handmaid's Tale. Is that the girl from Mad Men? I've not watched Mad Men yet either, as well.
Right, man, this is
I've heard like a lot of people say Mad Men's awesome, but I've never given it a shot yet, you know.
It's gonna be fun, man. I'm about to go whinge on their ass. I like to tell you the gist. Play your cards right, I'm gonna let you in on a little something I've been cooking up.
Oh, are you shooting fire stuffs? Cool. Okay, I'm out. I have to go run towards them now. Ow. They're sniping, that's not fair. That's illegal. So, if you watch Dexter, his killer girlfriend is in it too. Oh, cool! I did watch Dexter. I fucking love Dexter. Until they ruined Dexter hard. The worst ending to a TV show I've ever seen. But I loved the actual show itself. It was awesome. Yeah, I'm doing some great stuff, thank you. I mean, I don't know where I am at the moment, technically. Because of everyone else doing their thing, you know. I'll see.
Hell yeah, man. We kicked ass. We like Rosencrantz and Guildenstern over here.
Yeah.
Man, I love the theater.
Yeah, sure. I don't see a truck, though. Yeah, here's a nice view, isn't it, Peaches? You're right, it's always worth taking a moment or two just to appreciate the scenery.
Okay, man, now it's time for step 4.
Okay.
Truck's
Sure.
actually all the way down yonder. Probably more Peggies waiting for us, too. It's all
Sure.
about the zip line, man. We gonna zip line in there, sneak up on them like ninjas.
Sounds like fun. But
I do not think that's a good idea, mister.
I wasn't trying to shoot you, buttface.
Oh, shit. Stealth mode, right? Fuck yeah, man.
Just pretend at the end it didn't happen. Yeah, exactly. In your engine, he got caught but worked with the police consultant. Mine, I don't know, he died. I don't know where I just stop it before the, like, if I rewatched it, I wouldn't watch the last season now. Oh.
It's so much fun, man. I won't come back later to the fuck naked.
It would be pretty cool doing it naked. The wind in your junk.
Feel that breeze
Unbeatable.
on my tank.
See what you're saying?
Girardi, bro!
Yeah, right.
Oh my goodness, man. I do not want to get ahead of myself, but I can tell already that we're gonna be best friends. Probably end up with tattoos of each other.
Well, maybe not that much,
Oh man,
but
fate has brought us together, Migo. I feel that in my heart.
did like
What is
last
it?
season, just not last episode. Yeah, the last episode really ruined it, but I kind of
Well, I
tuned out a
guess
lot
it's
in
the same
that
thing. I mean,
season.
he controls all wonderful things in the world.
I didn't really like it when Dexter and Deb started having a relationship. I think that's when I disliked it. It's been a long time since I've watched it, to be fair, so.
I do like dog meat, like on my travels and stuff. I'll tell you, I've never eat Boomer. Though he does look yummy.
Stay the fuck away from Boomer. Stay the fuck away. What?
My daddy says Jacob's corky, man. I suggest you don't mess with him unless you have to.
No, wait, how do I switch to the other ammo? I didn't mean to do that. Oh, I hear that guy who's shooting. There's no shooting scheduled for today. Now it's safe to enter. Hey, wait, get.
Nice work, Migo. Okay, step 5. Let's move before more show up.
We loot first. Then we run away in fear. You're driving again? Oh, but I'm shooting this time. Let's rock it.
Fuck, man, Daddy is gonna be pissed about these bullet holes, man. Oh man, we got trouble.
Nah, we'll be right. Hey, Mr. Senator. We done did it.
Would you look at that? 2 peas in a goddamn pod. Glad she's still in one piece.
Give up peaches.
Well, Deputy, you kept your word. You know, I did some thinking while
That's it. Put him back over there where he belongs. I'm not streaming for the core at the moment, but free real estate.
I'm in need of a campaign manager, and you're just the kind of go-getter I
Oh
need
yeah,
to
I'll
get
be a
my
campaign
ass in
manager.
office.
That's cool.
First task I got is take Junior with you wherever you go.
Oh God,
so
no.
I don't have to hear him
No,
praying
I resign.
to that goddamn Monkey King no more. Second task is...
Yeah, you can eat me in a minute, peaches. What, sorry?
Let me think on it a bit. I'll get back to you.
Sure. Right.
Good, bro.
So, let's quickly save. And then blow ourselves up. You like your new car so much?
Here, it's my new campaign man.
Let's see how much you like your car now. Haha, lol. Gonna need a new car now.
Well, looky here. It's
Okay, I'll see what he wants and then I'll stop. Do you want to carry on talking or what? Oh, your flowers are on fire, yeah. Oh, we're all on fire. Oh, Peach is on fire. Lots of fire. Ah, we're gonna need a new senator. If you stop being on fire, I'll save you, okay? But you're on fire at the moment. And I can't really do much about that. I don't know where your son is. Just be chilling over there. Let me just throw that over there in case your son's there. Your son was there! He just didn't want to help. What a bastard. You right?
Well, looky here. It's my new campaign manager. Knew you had some sense.
Yeah.
So, got a new job for you. Do you know what gerrymandering is? Of course you don't. You're a regular American, just like me. It's boring egghead stuff involving redrawn voting districts, blah, blah, blah.
He doesn't care about his son either, to be fair.
The election's coming up, and them eggheads tell me I'm fucked in the polls because those goddamn Peggies ain't gonna be voting for me. Say what you will about lunatic cult movements, but the bottom line is they vote. Now,
the cries of pain really do make it, don't they?
Would be to go back in time and gerrymander them district lines so the Peggies ain't counted. And that got me to thinking I could just as easily win if them Peggies just didn't show up to vote.
You want me to kill every single one of them? You got a long cutscene. I really need to save your son.
But a permanent solution to my temporary problem would work best if you catch my meaning. Obviously, I'm not saying to murder anyone because that's still illegal. It is still technically illegal, right?
No.
But if there were less Peggies around because they somehow tripped and fell on several dozens of bullets, it would probably help my chances.
I swear you're talking longer just because your son needs life-saving help right now.
You could take my
He's just an arsehole.
He's not good at much, but he can shoot okay. And you know, if this were ever to blow back on us, it would be good to have a pasty.
Oh, I'd like a pasty. Wouldn't mind a pasty right now. A pasty would be nice. I'll do it for a pasty. Let's go.
Well, what you waiting for? Get moving.
You just shut up, that's why. Oh, why? What's wrong? Have you got a bellyache?
Owie, something bit me, man. Something bit me.
Something bit you? I threw a grenade at you, dumb nuts. Actually, it was dynamite. Damn, no, mate. It wasn't me.
You're hurting me.
Fly. Oh, okay, moving up. Okay, let me save that there for a bit. So, ladies and gentlemen,